Hey beauties, it's Court. Welcome back to my channel. I am so humbled. Urban Decay sent me another package. They sent me their new full spectrum palette. Oh my god, you guys, wait till you see this thing. So the pre-release was today. I'm not 100% sure when the official release is. Everything will be in the description box. So if you guys want to see inside this little beauty right here, you already know what to do.
Keep your cute little ass right where it's at.
So the box itself is just beautiful. I love it. I just hate that they hurt so much makeup to make their packaging. Their Vice lipsticks have like cut up lipsticks on the boxes, and then they have crushed eyeshadows. It does make for a pretty badass looking box though. And then the packaging for the palette itself is very sturdy. Like this bad boy is, it's got some weight to it. It's very nice. It's a little bit clunky, but it's not too bad. You know what I mean? Like, it definitely wouldn't stand upright in an Alex drawer, which is disappointing. I mean, maybe in the bigger ones, if you have one of the bigger ones, it might. But in my Alex 5 drawers, this would have to definitely have to be laying down. So here's a little close-up. You can see that it does have some 3D texturing to it with the stripes. The crystal UD on the bottom is also raised and holographic. The only thing that I'm not crazy about with the packaging is the way that it opens. It has this little tab right here on the bottom. So I guess you're supposed to use your thumb and then just kind of like open it like this, and then it does magnetically close, which is nice because you know it's not going to like pop open, but it is a little bit difficult to get open in the first place. So see what I mean? You got to work at it a little bit, but to get to what's inside, it is worth it. So inside the palette, it has a beautiful mirror. It stands up on its own. It even leans back just a little tiny bit. So the shades in here, there are 21 shades. 18 of them are brand new, limited edition, exclusive to this palette. And then 3 of the shades are re-releases from palettes that have been released already, because that's what re-release means. For me, that makes this palette irresistible. 18 limited edition brand new shades. So how about we go ahead and just show you the damn palette.
Actually, I'm going to tease you a little more, and I'm going to show you the brush that it comes with first. So you have a nice little shader brush on this end. A pretty dense and pretty long blending brush.
I thought it deserved a big entrance. So basically in this palette is pretty much any color that you could ever need. This palette is stunning. You guys know I love my colored eyeshadows. So there's a array of finishes in here. That's what Wendy said, but I'm gonna let you know right now, there is only one true matte shadow in here. There are other matte base shadows that have shimmer in them, and once you do blend them out, the shimmer does kind of go away, which is nice because it gives you more matte shades to work with. So I am going to go through and swatch every one of these colors for you very quickly. We'll try and get through it as quick as we can. I'll give you a little bit more of my thoughts on it, and then we'll jump into the demonstration and the look. There are timestamps down below if you want to skip ahead to anything specific. This is what the palette looks like when you hold it right side up. I was holding it upside down when I revealed it, and the way that it's set up is it goes in kind of like a rainbow through the whole palette, and then it ombres from top to bottoms. So the way that we're going to swatch them is 3 at a time. We're going to start with this first row right here and work our way all the way to the end. So this first shade that we have here, this is Alchemy. It's a beautiful, I'm not going to describe all the colors because it's going to take me way too long, but you can see what kind of shades they are. The second shade we have right here is Gossip, which is absolutely beautiful. You can see they're a little bit powdery. There is a tiny bit of fallout, but I didn't get any fallout at all when I used it on my eyes. And then this last shade right here in the first row is called Paranoia. Okay, next up we have Warning, which is a gorgeous, beautiful copper. Next shade we have is Seas, which is one of the matte shades. And then the last one we have is Jones, which is kind of like that mac and cheese kind of color. Okay, so the next 3 shades we have Midnight Blaze, which does not... This is probably my least of all of the shadows in the palette. There's barely any pigmentation to it. There's chunky gold glitter. I'm just not a fan of it. And then the next one up we have is Valera, I think that's what it's called. Gorgeous, gorgeous, vibrant yellow. Under that you have Gold Mine, which is a satin finish, very light gold yellow. So you can see it's pretty reflective. So there's the first 9 colors right there.
These These orange swatches are a lot of motherfucking work, man. We'll get a better system for next time, I promise.
This one up is 100. It's a beautiful deep hunter green. Look at that. Well, the next one is Hatter. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is one of the re-releases. It looks like it would be something from the Alice in Wonderland palette. This one is Mean. And this is the one that I used to highlight the inner corners of my eyes. Oh my God, probably one of my favorite shades in the whole palette. We have is Minx, and this is going to be an almost matte. There's like really, really fine silver micro shimmers in it. This one up next, Blindsided. Blindsided. Dear Lord, would you look at that blue? That's the kind of blue that I like to pair with a hot pink. All those two colors are so sexy together. And then the last blue right here is going to be Metamorphosis. Look how that swatches. Isn't that stunning? That's like a cornflower blue right there. We have Delirious, which is a beautiful deep matte plum shade. The next one is Sketch. And this one is a beautiful, kind of like a deep lavender. And then the last one we have here is Faded, which is kind of a cool color. It's like an ashy purple with gold reflex in it. So last row, the first shade we have is Platonic, and this is going to be the black in the palette. It's not the blackest black. I don't think it's made to be. I think it's made to be like a gray black. It has some silver reflex in it. Next shade we have is Iced, which is that's a very heavy swatch. It's a very sheer. This kind of reminds me of one of their moon dust shadows where you would use it like over another shadow to enhance it. And this shade is called Bump, and it is the only true pure matte shade in the palette, and it's just a regular old white. I'm very, very, very happy to have it in my collection. I cannot say thank you to Urban Decay enough. If you guys have any questions at all whatsoever about this palette, please do not hesitate to leave them down in the comments. We're going to go ahead and get into the demonstration so you guys can see how I got this look on my eyeballs right here, right now. So if you want to stick around for that, then just keep your cute little ass right where it's been.
So since there aren't a lot of mattes in this palette, I am bringing in my Naked and my Naked 3, and I'm going to go in with this kind of like white base shadow just to set my concealer. I didn't use a primer, I just used my Naked Skin Concealer. I'm actually using the matte shade next to that one that I was just pointing to, and I'm just going to build this up in my crease, just a lot of blending. Pretty much everywhere that I put that first shade, I took this pretty far in, pretty far out, and pretty far up. So this is what we have so far, just a nice wash of purple. Now we're going to be using mostly this row right here, maybe throw some of these in here, but first I'm going to go in with Iced, and I'm going to use a flat synthetic brush to apply that to my brow bone. I really had to build it up quite a bit to get the effect that I wanted, but it was very, very beautiful. I did like the way that it came out. I also put this in my inner corner, but once I started to blend it out, it kind of blended into nothing. So what I ended up doing was taking the shade Bump, which is the matte white shade in the palette, and just kind of intensifying it a little bit. Not that any of this really matters because we end up going over it with the green anyway, but I feel like it made the green pop a little more. My foundation was creasing so badly. So now what I'm doing is just taking Paranoia, which is a nice light pinky purple shade. I'm chilling doing the other eye and just kind of putting that in my crease a little bit. Now we're going in with Gossip, and we're going to build this up pretty heavily. Oh my God, do you guys hear Mike? He's out there watching football. I apologize. So I'm just going to keep building this up in the crease little by little until I get the payoff that I want from it. This was a pretty easy shade to work with. I went in with a clean blending brush, and it didn't take much effort to blend it out. Yeah, mama liked it. Here I am chilling, just blending. Now I'm going to go back in with Paranoia again, that lighter purple color, and just blend out the pink a little bit more. Now I'm going to take the shade Sketch just a little teeny tiny bit on the brush that came with the palette, and this is kind of like a deep violet with like a brighter violet shift. It's really pretty. I wish I hadn't done this step though. It just made the look a lot darker, plus it didn't blend very well into the pink at all. Now I'm going to take the shades Alchemy and Delirious and mix them together for my outer corner. I didn't like the way that it was showing up, so I went back in with just Alchemy first and built that up quite a bit on the outer corner. And then on top of that, I went in with Delirious just to kind of deepen it up a little bit. And I also brought Delirious right up into the outer portion of my crease as well. So I switched to another brush that's like an E25 from Sigma. It's clean, and I'm just using it to blend that purple out. And I left this footage in because I wanted to show you guys I did have kind of a hard time blending out the shade Delirious. It gave me a little bit of trouble, but once I did work with it a little bit, it ended up being very pretty. So now I'm going to go in with this green color that I'm really stoked about. It's in the shade Mean, taking my E36 from Morphe, best inner corner brush ever, and just look how that green pops. It is beautiful. Now for some reason, I took the shade Bump, which is the matte white shade, and I just put that all over my lid. Now I'm trying to figure out what eyelid shade I want to go with, and I think we're going to go with C's, which is like this orange color. I used my Real Technique shader brush at first. It wasn't giving me the payoff that I wanted, so I switched to a flat synthetic Morphe brush, and I was kind of bored with it. Now I'm going to take the shade Midnight Blaze and try and build that up on my outer corner of my eye. It took me quite a bit, but I did eventually get it built up to where I wanted it. Now we're going to do the lower lash line. We're going to do the same thing we did in the crease. First shade is Paranoia, and then we're going to do Gossip a little bit closer to the lash line. And then just on the outer part, as close as I can to my lashes, I'm going to put some Alchemy in there. And then just take my E36 and blend them all out just a little bit. Now I'm just making sure that Midnight Blaze is blended into C's a little bit better on my eyelid. That Midnight Blaze color just was not an easy one to work with. So here we have the eyeshadow all finished. Now let's move on to some other fun stuff. Little peek at the look so far. Oh, here we go. This is the fun part. I used my Urban Decay glitter liner. I believe it's an AC/DC. I just put it where I had that C's shade and then right in the middle of my lower lash line. So after applying about 5 coats of Perversion mascara, I was trying to pick a lipstick. I brought Naked up with me, which ended up being Too Peach. This is Back Talk, which is absolutely stunning. It went perfectly with the look. I think it'll go perfectly with any look. I've been having a couple questions if it's harder to put my lipstick on now that I have an earring in the middle of my lip, so I figured I would leave this clip in to show you guys how I get it done. It's pretty easy.
So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all about the Urban Decay Full Spectrum Palette, please let me know down in the comments. I will be more than happy to give you all of the information that I have. Any information that I wasn't able to give you in the actual video will be down in the description, so make sure you check it. I work hard on my descriptions, so read it. And then after you're done reading it, please give me a thumbs up. I would really, really appreciate it. Thanks again, Urban Decay. I love you guys, and I love you, my friends, my subbies, my bitches, my rocks. You guys have been there for me this past week more than I ever could have imagined, and I just cannot say thank you enough. So anyway, I'm going to head out of here. I love you guys so damn much. Subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah.
I hear hair flopping around, right? Yeah, I hear hair flopping around right now. I feel hair flopping around right now. Do I got floppy hair? My hair smells good. I'm looking over there so much. I'm like watching myself in the thing. I've not been myself lately, guys, so you'll have to excuse me if I'm a little bit off in this video. It's like deadly acorns outside. I swear to God, they're like leaving dents in my truck. It's insane. They fall from so high out of the tree that they sound like doof when they hit the ground. Like literally, they make the loudest noises. It scares the fuck out of me every time. But who the fuck wants to vacuum, right? Like, come on now. So guys, I really enjoyed making, what? Of course I enjoyed making the video, but that is not what I was trying to say. They would definitely